Shalom, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Al Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakodash, Shalom to 144,000 the rest of the elect out there, Shalom to all. And I'm going to entitle this video, I had a lot of titles in my head concerning this particular subject, but I'm going to title this video, we said this would take place Jeremiah 30 verse 7. So what I did was actually, let me do this. Let me open the notifications. Okay, so this is what I want to go into. It's a short video put up by the up and coming.
Do you see the hundreds of agents raided?
Up and coming young elder, young elder. That's oxymoronic. Up and coming elder, teacher, makes good videos, and this is a short one, which kind of woke me up. I just got finished watching the video that was put up by the elder, the head of Chicago, Malcolm. So this was in the notifications. So I clicked on this one. It was short. So after watching the video that the elder Yahshua, Malcolm, I was getting ready to say Yahshua, but Malcolm out of Chicago, the head out of Chicago, like I said, it kind of woke me up, and then I watched this video, then it's really woke me up too. Anyway, and it led me to ask the question concerning Jacob's trouble. So it says here, make no tarrying to turn to the Lord or Yahweh. Sirach 5 verse 7. We're in Jacob's trouble right now. If I don't know if they went up there and told you, we're in Jacob's trouble right now. We said that, you know, when they went after the so-called Latin tribes, and the target, Nero's target are the Israelites. Whether you say that you're an Israelite or not, you're gonna get the cursings and the blessings of an Israelite. So he started with the North. He has no problem with Arabs. He ain't going after Arabs, ICE agents. So you mean to tell me all these Arabs from around the world that come in this country, they're all legal? I thought they were terrorists. I thought they were sleeper cells. He's not going after the neo-Nazi party. He's not going after the KKK. The only group of people that he's going after are the Israelites. And it started with the Northern Kingdom. Now he's going after the Southern Kingdom. And we said that. We said that was going to happen. So I'm going to let this play. And I know it's not going to be on Fox News. Because something said, well, let me go check Fox News and CNN and see. This ain't breaking news. Because the people in this building, like it says, hundreds of agents just raided an entire complex in Chicago, dragging kids out naked. Deuteronomy 28. Matter of fact, let me go to that. I didn't set up anything, so I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go. See what, just let the Spirit lead me. And we're still under the curses of Deuteronomy 28. We're obviously not under the 68th verse anymore, or the 64th verse. Or the 43rd to the 47th verse, yoke of iron. Now it's a paper yoke. Yeah. This is yeah, give me the paper. Give me the
It's on the scanner.
okay, the top, okay.
And then put your initial.
Sure. Okay? All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
All right, see you.
Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second, y'all. That was certified mail. Some information that I don't even need. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was ice at the door. The way the motherfucker, it's a mailman. Anyway. Okay, I went right here. I thought about this. Deuteronomy 28:50, or verse 50. A nation of fierce continent. That we're talking about Esau and his power structure. This, if you don't know that Nero is the cruel Lord, and Isaiah chapter 19, Spirit, the Most High is not dealing with you, or you sold out. I did a video 3 days ago, and then I did another video some months ago concerning IUIC. That they teach that Isaiah chapter 19 is talking about, Israelites live in Egypt too. So when you tell them when you ask them what does Isaiah 19 and 18, Isaiah 19 verse 18 and 19 mean? Oh, that's talking about there were Israelites living in Egypt. It ain't talking about that. See, Bishop Nathaniel, he says, we don't know the Hebrew. The Most High didn't give us a Hebrew. We got to wait for the kingdom to get the Hebrew. So we don't even know his name. We don't even know how to say hi in Hebrew. We don't know Hebrew. That's not the real, And years ago, he taught different. More than 20, 30 years ago, him and Mr. Maagi, Ben, they did a video on it, going in depth into proving that the churches don't know what the hell they talking about, that the name of the Lord is in Hebrew, and the name of his son is in Hebrew, and they pulled out books. They went on scholar mode, and so if you roll up on them to show them that we're pursuant to prophecy, we're supposed to be speaking. Part of the prophecy is we're supposed to be speaking Hebrew. If there's 1 million words in the Hebrew language and we know 500 of them or 300 of them, that's speaking Hebrew. You can go to Spain and learn some Hebrew. You know, you get a app, you learn some Spanish, and you might master 200 words, put certain words together, and you're actually speaking Spanish. You don't know 10,000 words, but you know 250, 300 words that can get you by. So anyway, when we speak that Hebrew, we're speaking the authentic Paleo Hebrew, right? So when you ask, I'm gonna get back to the main subject. When you ask these guys, do we speak Hebrew? No, we don't speak Hebrew. The Most High didn't give us Hebrew. So could you please explain to me Isaiah 19 verses 18 and 19? Could you please explain that to me? Their thing is, when you look them up, you can do it. You don't got to take my word for it. Go to the search engine. Go to YouTube. Go to search engine. Put in IUIC, Isaiah 19 verse 18, or Isaiah 19, 18 and 19. And when they come across those two verses, oh, those are Israelites living in Egypt. You know, we were scattered all over the place. It says, almost word for word, I didn't pull it up, obviously. It says, in that day, 5 cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan and shall swear or call on the Lord. Meaning we're going to speak the Canaanite language, which is Hebrew, and then we're going to call on the Lord. We're not going to call on the Lord, then speak Hebrew, because in order for you to call on the Lord, you got to know his name in the Hebrew. So that's what that's talking about. And I keep bringing that up because it's important. This is how you get them guys. If you say go to the 18th verse, they're gonna living in this, Israelites. Go to Jeremiah 40, 44 and 1, and So the way you get them is, if you ever run into them, the way you get them is, you ask them about the cruel Lord. Who's the cruel Lord in Isaiah chapter 19? I believe that's the 4th verse. Matter of fact, I'm positive it's the 4th verse. Or the 8th verse? I can go to it. I believe it's either the 4th or the 8th verse. The 8th verse. Matter of fact, you know what? I hate doing this, but I can come back to this. Anyway, the cruel Lord is somebody that's cruel. I look up the word cruel, and when these prophecies come to pass, you don't gotta ask nobody. Is this guy the cruel Lord? We knew when he came into office and he started doing this shit. He's talking about, I'm gonna bust in the doors and go in the shops and go in the courts. And I'm gonna grab him up. We knew. We started immediately calling him the cruel Lord. We didn't call him when he was 45, Nero 45. We didn't call him the cruel Lord. Nero 47, that's the cruel Lord. Came in a whole different spirit. Because when he was Nero 45, he said, he kept saying he's going to send the troops in Chicago. He kept telling them that, I'm going to send the troops in, I'm going to send the troops. He never sent the troops in. Now he sent the troops in. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but spoiling and destroying the Lord's people. I'm merely paraphrasing. Them that fear the Lord. All of us fear the Lord. Read Romans chapter 2. We do the laws even though we don't know we're Israelite. We know that it's wrong to kill in our spirit. We know that it's wrong for a man to lay with another man, a woman to lay with another woman, a man to lay with a woman that's married to another, that's dealing with another man. We know in our spirit. Esau don't give a shit because the spirit, the law ain't in him. Anyway, let me read this here. A nation of fear, a nation. What's a nation? It's a group of people that have one origin, a genos, that goes back to one man. A nation starts with one man. The Israelites start with Jacob, right? And it's the sons that came out of him. Well, two of them was his grandsons, which were Israelites, which is Ephraim and Manasseh. They're not his sons, they're his grandsons. So really, his sons and his grandsons, some of his grandsons, those are the Israelites. It started with Jacob. Jacob's name was changed by the angel from Jacob, which means supplanter, to Israel. And don't look it up in the blue letter, they're going to go off. But they say, I forget how they say it, but in the New Testament, when you go to the word Israel in the blue letter, it breaks it down. It pretty much says the prince, he's a prince of God. So you went from being a supplanter to a royal son of God. The sons of God are the Israelites. In order for you to be a son of God, you have to be an Israelite, or you have to be an angel or one of the angels, either on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. Do you not know that Satan is a son of God on the left-hand side? The counterpart to Satan, the chief demon, is Yahushua, right? Now the scriptures doesn't say that, but I would say if there's 1,000,000 angels on the left side, there's 1,000,000 angels on the right side. They mirror each other. One side is the righteous, the other side is the wicked. Anyway, let me read this. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young. I'm going to show you the video in a minute. Now, let me pull out some words. Okay, let me do this. You know what? Let me do this. We hadn't gone in Deuteronomy 28 in a while. We kind of go into the 68th verse. The stranger that is within thee shall get very high, and thou shalt come down very low. These are these other nations that come in here that can't speak 3 words of English, and they have successful businesses. Go to any hood. Go to any hood in America, in Babylon, and go to any hood in Babylon and go to the businesses in Babylon. I might do a video on that. Now, you might have a bodega which Simeon, maybe Ephraim owns, you know. But the rest of them different places that you go to is mostly people of other nations. You know, when you go to the store and stuff, and then a lot of times you got Ephraim and Simeon are really just managers, and they could be mobbed up. You know, you think they're the owners, they're really not the owners. Even though their name is in the business, they're actually managers. I know that for a fact because it was a Simeon guy. He had a tire shop, and his name was there. It was whatever his name, tire shop. And we were just talking. And he was talking about his wife, how she tried to get child support. And she said he owns a whole business. Then he showed the judge that he's just a manager, but he really owned the whole business. But he put himself up as a manager, and I think he put his brother. But I believe he had ties with the mob too. The guy was just open up to me, man. So a lot of these Jake-owned businesses are really, they're just managers. So they don't own shit, right? It said the stranger, the other nation that is within thee, that's among you, shall get. And you notice these people, these Chinese people and these Arabs, whatever, you notice they don't live in your hood. When they close shop, they go to New Jersey, some Richie area in New Jersey or Scarsdale or whatever, or Greenwich, right? It said, the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. He shall lend to thee, meaning he has an opportunity to lend to you credit. When you can't afford, you buy certain groceries, and they know you're in the hood, you get credit. Well, guess what that is? That's a loan. I'm gonna loan you these potato chips and this Coca-Cola or whatever, and when you get your check, the first of the month, you got to give me the money back, right? And thou shalt not lend to him. You're not in any position to lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail. That's Esau's number one on top, and then the other nations are under Esau. So Esau doesn't mess with these other nations because they're right in order, rank and file, right? Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee. When you try to, you move, like you have videos on YouTube of Jake that moves to Japan, and they have kids in Japan, and you can clearly see that they're mixed, and they speak perfect Japanese, and they're discriminated against. And overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of Yahweh, to thy Most High, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his which he commanded thee. Excuse me. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Everyone, you got certain Jakes that make it, but you find out these super Jakes that make it, they all got to sell their soul to the devil. Every last one of them. Name one. Name one Jake that's a multi-billionaire whose face is always on TV, and tell me, this guy, he sold his soul to the devil. He been to the Diddy party wearing a white suit. Diddy's just being spanked because he did something to upset the super elite over him. He got too big for his britches, so that's a humiliation ritual. That's all it is. The charge that all them charges, the charge that stuck, that he found guilty, was buying prostitutes. But buying prostitutes from one state, New York to New Jersey, or Jersey to New York, or Connecticut to New York, that goes into the Mann Act. So they got him on the Mann Act. He's the wickedest guy in there. He's worse than fucking Mao, which he killed like 70 million. Stalin killed like over 70 million. Hitler killed like, according to the record, 6 million. But they always mention Hitler's the worst guy. You got Mao Zedong. He killed over 70 million of his own people. And when Esau called for war, he said he's killing his own people. And Hitler was a small hat. So what's up with that? Wasn't no German, he was a small hat. It says, because thou servest not Yahweh, the Most High, with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall bring thee, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck. That's how you get them. All you got to do is put in yoke of iron. That's it. Just put in yoke of iron and Google, and you're gonna get pictures. You don't got to put in yoke of iron, Deuteronomy 28:48. Negroes that are Israelites that are in slavery under. No, all you got. I'm gonna prove that. Yoke of iron. Yoke of iron. Bear me for a minute, y'all. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to come back to this. Let me just put in yoke of iron. Okay, I'm not even going to put it around thy neck. I'm just going to put in yoke of iron. I didn't. Deuteronomy 28:48 came up. Let's go to images. Look at that. That's a yoke. Now back, if you went 10 years ago, that's all you would see is pictures like this. Now you see this other stuff. There, he taking them pictures down. Here you got the yokes of iron. Yokes of iron. Yokes of iron. Well, sometimes they made out of wood. They took their, okay, this is the famous one. There's the actual, this is not a painting, this is an actual photograph as a slave being sold. To be sold, a slave. This signifies that he ran away. So for him to not run away, they put the yoke of iron on him. So this was a Jake. You can see he has a garment on, the robe. This is the Israelite right here. This is what the Israelites look like. That's a yoke made out of iron. They got him shackled down. He ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Deuteronomy 28. They took a lot of these pictures down. Yoke of iron is shackled up. These are Israelites, man. Look at how he leaning. That's a Jake. Jake got that swag even in slavery. These are not Hamites. Look at this. But now IUIC is teaching that Deuteronomy 28, Deuteronomy 23 and 7. Oh, we can't hate Edomites. Are you out your fucking mind? Some of these are like modern, actors, but this one right here is a real picture of an actual Jake. This is a real picture of Jake's shackled up. They didn't commit no crime. Well, they did. They broke the laws of the Heavenly Father, which we all did. Say, ye and your king. Look at this. And now vocab saying, you guys are not being persecuted. You guys are not under the curses. And the small hats are. I work with the small hats. They ain't those Orthodox ones. They are not under no. They live in McMansions, man. They live in these big houses, big nice manicured lawns. No dirt, no cigarette butts in the hood. So I'm sorry. Let's come on back. Kind of stretching this thing out, but that's so Deuteronomy 28, 48 was fulfilled in us being slaves. Now you can say, well, the Assyrians did that. Okay, I ain't gonna argue about that, but also Esau did that. Yeah, when this movie came out in 75, 76, I think, 77, I was in high school, and the Jake, we wasn't talking to our teachers. We looking at our white Edomite teachers like we were gonna kill their asses, and we weren't talking to no white students. We like looking at them like, yeah, do something. We wanted to fuck them up. Then when they had the awards, when they made the movie, it was a success. They had a big award. I saw it when it was live, when it first came out. It was a series, man. Everybody was glued to the TV, and they had all the actors, and a lot of them were crying. They were getting awards, and they were crying, man. You know, because it was so. Because this is not a movie that somebody came up with a plot, or a script. This is real life, based upon a real man. Oh, but no, that's not talking. No, that's not talking about. That's talking about the Syrian captivity. When you read Deuteronomy 28, it says we're going to be under these curses under various different nations. Look up the word. Go to Deuteronomy 28 and put in the word nation and nations and read those passages. Those passages. That's old school. Read that passage, brother. Okay, so we back over here. I'm sorry. Let me see. Let me go back over here. So they're not going after Arabs.
An apartment complex in Chicago in the middle of the night.
You had a bunch of Chinese nationals come up in here too. Men, just men. War, military age men. But the target was on, now the target's on Jake.
Do you see that hundreds of agents raided an apartment complex in Chicago in the middle of the night?
No, this thing is acting up. I'm sorry, y'all. This thing is acting up. Let me do this now.
Do you see that hundreds of agents raided an apartment complex in Chicago? FBI, ATF, and other...
Okay, let me do it this way. Let me do it this way. Bear me for a minute. You know what? Let me do this. Let me do this. Sorry, y'all. Okay, let me do this here. Bear me for a minute, y'all. Bear me for a minute, y'all. Look at this. They want to kill openly. They're openly killing you. Okay, let me see something here. All right, let me do this. Okay, let's see what happens here.
Do you see that hundreds of agents raided an apartment complex in Chicago in the middle of the night, taking children out naked and detaining black U.S. citizens? This happened around 1 a.m. at a large apartment complex in the...
So they're going after the southern kingdom, the kingdom of Yahweh.
South Shore neighborhood of Chicago. Over 300 agents from ICE, FBI, ATF, and other agents showed up to the apartment complex. They came with helicopters, some people saying they saw Black Hawk helicopters, and it seems that they also came hidden in budget and U-Haul trucks. Officials from the government said that they did this because they were looking for 6 high-priority targets, including suspected members of Tren de Aragua. Even though they never showed a warrant while they were there, and they have not confirmed if they actually detained anyone that is a member of Tren de Aragua. Agents went into nearly...
So this war is against Israel. Revelation 12:12. The devil shall come down on you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. Their focus is not, this is the third time he said, third or fourth time, they ain't looking for the Arabs. They ain't looking for Chinese. They ain't looking for no other nation but the Israelites. They started with the northern kingdom. Now they dealing with the northern and the southern kingdom. Their focus is on the Israelites. And when you read the history of Nero, he had a deep, dark hatred for Christians, which are Israelites and Jews. His father kicked out the Jews, which is Claudius. That's in Acts 8, the 18th chapter.
All of the 100 apartments that were in the complex, they were busting down doors and dragging people out of their beds. There are reports of kids being zip-tied and being taken out buck naked. Black residents who are U.S. citizens also said that.
So this is in the middle of the night when people are sleeping. I don't know if he said 2 in the morning. No matter what time. Here you are sleeping and your door gets busted in.
They were dragged out of their apartments. They were held at gunpoint, asked to give their name, date of birth, and asked if they had any warrant. They also separated people, black people in one van and immigrants in the other van. Reports say that between 30 to 40 people were disappeared that night. Activists are trying to figure out who were the people that were disappeared since the government is not giving any information on the individuals. This raid should be a reminder that they're coming for all of us. Look, white supremacists have done a great job.
Now, when he said all of us, he's talking about the Israelites. Now, the video that I saw before this one with the elder Malcolm, he said that there was a guys, they took his wife or whatever, and I guess he was cool with this dude, and he told him he's an Israelite. He wasn't hearing that, he's in the Caesar Borgia thing. Now he's like, what's the name of the Lord? Now he wants to call on, Yahweh Shai.
Job of separating the black and Latino community, especially during the last election. They separated us so then they can come and hunt us down. They don't care about any of us because of the color of our skin. And to any...
Not the color of your skin, because Arabs, you can pass for an Arab. Hell, I can pass for a damn Arab. A lot of Israelites can pass for Arabs. So they ain't doing it they're not going in the Arab communities talking about, oh, these are sleeper cells. And it has nothing to do with the color. It's the spirit that's in you, which is the spirit of the Israelite. This proves that we're the Israelites. They're not doing it to the small hats.
Any white people seeing this and say, not my problem. Remember, Donald Trump just said that
U.S. cities should be military training grounds, Trump tells generals. That means that you get into killing people, because you're gonna have people that's gonna buck up against the orders and they're gonna get killed out there. There'll be gunfights in the street, and Esau has far more weapon superiority than Jake in the hood. Anything that Jake got, any Thule, whatever you want to call it, blingy Thule, whatever the hell you want to call it, get, you got that's Esau's technology. That's the blessing that Yahweh gave to Esau, which is Isaac. So we need Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh. We need to be delivered. Time of Jacob's trouble.
U.S. cities should be training grounds for the military, and they're starting, as always, with black and brown bodies.
So there you go. You can watch it again if you want. And there was I was listening to Chris. Was it Chris? No, it wasn't Chris Hedges. It was, you should watch him. He's straightforward. He looked like an Edomite, but he against Esau. He fought Jake. What's the other guy? Richard Wolff. He had a guest on, and this guy was breaking down that the U.S. forces, the federal forces, National Guard and so forth, going in other cities, they can't do it because that's in violation of the Posse Comitatus Act. But there's a legal way around it, and the legal way around it is that the governor has to call in. He said that my state is so overwhelmed with crime and war going on that there's an emergency situation and we need the troops to come in. That's the only way they can do it. So that's why you notice, well, the government said we need troops. It's so bad out here. Then they showing old films of shit with George Floyd thing. They showing old film. See what they're doing? Well, that was what, 4 or 5 years ago. And the government shut down, man. This is chaos. This individual right here, he's bringing the chaos. He's the ringleader of chaos to bring in what? To bring in, there you go, the troops. And a lot of them is Jake, too, and the Latin tribes. They don't care. They want you want to keep getting paid. This right here is a distraction. Anyway, so this is what I did. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. So I looked it up real quick. I went to the chat. Jeremiah 37, that's the scripture right here. The question, when will Jacob's trouble take place? Alas, for that day shall be greatest, even the time of Jacob's trouble, and that time being delivered out of it, saved out of it. This verse is often interpreted as referring to a future time of intense distress or intense distress or tribulation for the nation of Israel. This verse is often interpreted as referring to a future time of intense distress. We're in the intense distress. The Latin tribes that go to work, they don't know what to do. And you know when they catch them? When they're in court, dealing with their status. So they're complying with the system. They're saying you got to be at court, on this date, and then you good for the next 6 months. So they're catching them in court. So they're complying with the system. They're in the system, man. Nero said, "Oh, we're doing it because we're just getting the gangs out of there, the trend, whatever, however you say, Agua, whatever, and the MS-13 and stuff like that." No, you're going after people. You're going after low-hanging fruit. It said this verse is often interpreted as referring to a future time of intense distress or tribulation. So we're in that time. Now, Bishop Nate said, "Oh, there's not going to be no time of Jacob's trouble." What group got on him about saying that? The only group that got on him was, as far as I know, was the GMS. And then he came back. And then he reversed himself years later, saying, "If you listen to me closely, old morons, I did." You did not say it, man. And then when you call us morons, brothers pulled up the tape where you told the Jamaican brother that died. He said, there's got to be a time of Jacob trouble. That means that we're going to go back into slavery and the white man going to get us. And they sitting there cool and calm. I know there's not going to be no time with Jacob. But this is what the scripture says. This is Daniel. And no, he kept talking about Daniel, the time of Jacob's trouble. He should have mentioned Jeremiah 30, verse 7. Nope. And Nate said, nope, we're just going to la-di-da. We're just going to go right into the kingdom. Then, 5 years later, if you listen to me close, and we listened to, we went back to, because everything's on, we got receipts, We got receipts. So we went back, some brother found a video that you said it, and we listened, we scrubbed through it, and we listened to it, and we said, nope, he never said that. He maintained the fact that there ain't gonna be no Jacob's trouble. Then he said, if you listen to me closely, old morons, I did say it wasn't that happened. You didn't say that. And you're going to probably say the same thing. If you listen to me closely, old morons, I did say the white man's going to give us a microchip, but you didn't listen to me because you're a bunch of morons. So y'all, what y'all? Hey, whatever this man, whatever controversial thing he says, get a copy of it. Get a copy of it, bro. Get a receipt. So we can say we got receipt, bitches. It said this verse is often interpreted as referring to a future time of intense distress or tribulation for the what? For the nation of Israel. Jacob being a reference to the patriarch of the 12 tribes and thus symbolically representing the Jewish people or Israel as a whole. Israel as a whole are the Israelites. The question is, who are the Israelites? We maintain that we are the Israelites. When will Jacob's trouble take place? There are three major views among interpreters and scholars. Future prophetic view, premillennial dispensational views, futurists, right? We are futurists. We are premillennial. The millennial represents the 1,000 years reign. So the time of Jacob's trouble is going to take place before the 1,000-year reign. This is the most common view among premillennial and dispensational interpreters. Jacob's trouble equal the Great Tribulation, a 7-year period, which they go to Daniel chapter 9, which Daniel chapter 9, that whole entire chapter took place already 2,000 years ago. The Great Tribulation, a 7-year period of unprecedented suffering that precedes the return of the Messiah. See Matthew 24:21, Daniel 12:1, and we know what Matthew 24:21 means is, and Daniel 12 is. So they're equating Jeremiah 30:7 with Daniel 12. Often tied to Daniel's 70th week. Nope, that already happened. Seen as a future event. So are we in the future? Are we in the past? Are we in the present? We're in the present. What's the future? It's something that's going to happen. Today is Friday, October 3rd. Tomorrow is Saturday, October 4th. Saturday, October 4th is the future. When it comes, then it becomes the present. 2 weeks later, Saturday, October 4th is the past. Oh, that happened two weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever the case may be. So they're telling you that this is a future event. So this is yet to happen. Guess what? It's happening now as we speak. Go back and check out that video. Where is it? I think the video that I just showed. See, we don't went through all these breakdowns. Could you break down Matthew 24 for us? Could you break down Daniel 12? We already broke it down. We broke down Daniel 12, the whole chapter. Matter of fact, we got to do it all over again. Daniel 12, Daniel 2, Daniel 7, Daniel 8, Daniel 9, all these different chapters. Seen as a future event that especially, and we're in the future, let's say. The future is now, let's say. When this man came into office, that's when Jacob's trouble really began. Began with the northern kingdom. Well, just like the Syrians took down the northern kingdom 125 to 150 years before the Babylonians took down Judah. So Nero started with the northern kingdom, seen as a future event that especially involves Israel going through a time of purifying judgment, after which the nation will turn to the Most High and be restored. What part of the nation? Well, that's Isaiah 19, 18, and 19. Five cities in the land of Egypt shall speak the language of Canaan and call on the Lord. That Egypt in Isaiah 19 is not ancient Egypt, all right? It's not. Don't go to Isaiah 19 and say, oh, now let's go to Jeremiah 44:1. That showed you that there were Israelites living in Egypt. No, that Egypt is talking about the modern Egypt, the new Egypt, that great city. Supportive verses, Daniel 12:1, a time of trouble such as never was. Matthew 24:21, then shall be great tribulation such as was not since the beginning of the world. So when the Lord said great tribulation, what was he quoting? He was quoting, partially he was quoting Daniel 12:1. Revelation 7 and 12 speak of Israel and persecution during tribulation. Right. Revelation 7 verse 9, they came out of great tribulation. Revelation 12, that whole chapter goes into the tribulation period that we went through back 2,000 years ago, even bringing it up to date. Historical fulfillment. See, everything that I'm going into, these scriptures, we should all know. You shouldn't have to ask me, oh, could you break this scripture down? We went through this. A lot of times you ask questions about things that the answer is already in the videos. But you know, YouTube takes some videos down and they shadow ban them. I proved that yesterday with Revelation 11. I put Hebrew Israelite, Revelation 11, GMS, Hebrew Israelite, Revelation 11. Nothing really came up. Some see Jacob's trouble as referring to a past historic event. Nope. The Babylonian exile. Nope. The Roman destruction of Jerusalem. Nope. According to the Jeremiah 30 is referencing calamities that befell the nation in Jeremiah's time or shortly thereafter. Not a future. They don't know. So this is out. Cross this out. Historic fulfillment view. So there's certain Edomite scholars, Bible scholars, that say that the time of Jacob's trouble is something that's going to happen, but they're putting it on the small hats. Small hats ain't catching no hell. They bringing hell, bro. Symbolic, ongoing view. The perspective interprets Jacob's trouble more symbolically. It could refer to any time of persecution or hardship for the Most High's people, which is going to happen, which is happening right now. It emphasizes the pattern of suffering followed by deliverance. Because who's going to deliver us? Yahushua, but it mentions Michael. Now you got some, I believe the Jehovah's Witnesses teach that Michael is Yahushua. Michael is not Yahushua. Throughout history, rather than one single end time event. No, because there's no time in history where Michael, pursuant to Daniel 11, came and delivered us. There's no reference to that. Well, Michael came down. No, Michael's going to come down. Actually, Yahushua is going to come down, and Michael's going to be second in command. Maya Ka'ala. God-like, who is like God. Summary of timing, view, time of Jacob's trouble, main event. Futurists, which we are futurists. We are also pre-millennial or pre-millennialists, which are futurists, meaning we're saying this is going to happen in the future. But it's actually happened now. It's happening now, so really it's happening in the present. As of Nero being in office, Nero 47, we're in the present right now. We're in the future. The future is now. Great tribulation before the Messiah's return, which is correct. Historic, past, off, symbolic, anytime, off. Final thought. If you're reading the Bible with a futurist prophetic lens, which we are, we GMS or the Israelites are also prophets, are also futurists, then Jacob's trouble is still to come. Let me read that again. If you're reading the Bible with a futurist prophetic lens, and that's what we are, futurists. So if somebody says, you guys are futurists, no, we ain't no futurists. Futurists are another way of saying prophets. If you're reading the Bible with a futurist prophetic lens, then Jacob's trouble is still to come. But it's here now. The future is now. Likely part of the end time tribulation described in Revelation and elsewhere. Would you like a deeper comparison of how this verse fits into broader prophetic timelines like Daniel, Revelation? And you know what I'm going to do? Let me put in yes. See what happens. Great. Let's dig deeper into Jeremiah 37, Daniel, Book of Revelation. Okay, how does Jacob's trouble fit into prophetic timeline? Jeremiah, the time of Jacob's trouble. Key idea: a unique, unparalleled time of distress for Israel or for the Israelites. Like I said in this video, early in this video, go back and double check me. Nero 47 is not going after Arabs. They had this one guy, I don't know if he was Taliban or one of them, he was a terrorist guy, leader of the terrorist guy. Now this guy's a politician. And Rubio was like, I believe it was Rubio, was shaking. Now he's wearing a suit, he's wearing a turban and all that. Now he's wearing a suit and a tie. So they ain't got no problem with them Arabs. They ain't got no problem with them. When was the last time you heard about Hey, these terrorist acts that are taking place by the hands of white people. Ain't no Arabs. Charlie Kirk, Arab didn't do it. Wasn't no Arabs in the joint. Period, man. This guy, this Edomite, found out it was an Edomite, went into a Mormon church, killed a couple people, set the church on fire. You would think, oh, that's probably an Arab. No, it wasn't no Arab. It was a white boy, man. And Nero 47 is not going after them, man. You got to do something about these patriotic movement type people, these KKK. And then they were trying to say that the guy, what was his name, Taylor, whatever his name was, that he was happy, he had a happy friend, but then you find out that he's really a maggot, a MAGA, if you know what I mean, and his family were all MAGA, and he was MAGA. That's you. Remember, that's Utah, man. That's white man country. That's Bible Belt. That's part of the Bible Belt. So he went, and they said he was radicalized. Okay, so you grown up in a household of what do you call it? Republicans and the Second Amendment, and, this, that, and the third, and all of a sudden you turn into a happy person. Fuck out of here, man. That he became radicalized, like some Arab demon vampire bit him on the neck, and he turns into an Arab demon. And see, who said this? Oh, the elder Malcolm said that in the video. He said American people are pretty much stupid, and I've been saying that for years. They believe any fucking thing. You tell them anything, they'll believe it. You change the story, they'll change their mind right along with you. They won't question what you said last week. Because the thing with Charlie Kirk, the story keeps changing. But y'all don't know what's going on. You just go by, hey, like Nixon said. He said, if you say something on TV, people will believe it. You can say anything on TV. If you got a suit on, you a white man, you say this, that, and the third. If you say one plus one is 3, People will start, you go to school, the teacher asks you what's 1 plus 1. You put down 2. Nope, the answer is 3. You're wrong, Johnny. You get left back. This is why this place, I see exactly why the Most High refers to this place as what you call it, they refer to this place as the way they do. Pretty much they say that I lost my thought a little bit. Pretty much a highly intelligent, educated person that's well studied and deals with the global has a global set of glasses on, a global view of the world, and they look at both sides. They might look at a little bit of Fox, they look at CNN, they look at Al Jazeera, they might go into alternative news, they do a lot of reading, they see how things change, and then they come to a conclusion that this president is corrupt, or that president is corrupt. But a lot of y'all just go with it, because you're low-minded people, low IQ people, dumbed down people. I'm sorry for ranting. Jeremiah 30 verse 7, the time of Jacob's trouble, key idea, a unique, unparalleled time of distress for Israel, or the Israelites. He shall be saved out of it implies Israel's eventual national restoration. That's the kingdom. And spiritual awakening, right? Because we're going to have to wake up spiritually. That's why certain J can't get it. Tell them that the Israel, I can't see it. I don't see it. Yeah, I was listening to, there was like a debate with this guy, fresh and fit guy. What's his name? Marion, whatever, Gaines, whatever his name. And he had a little debate with Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum opened up his mouth and I turned the channel. I said, I can't hear this bullshit. He basically said that Marion Gaines, whatever his name is, he was saying that that's a genocide going on in Israel. He said that ain't no genocide, and not too many words. So I said, I see why they call him a unsi. I said, no, I can't even. I'm not even going to listen to anything else that this guy has to say. My man Anton, he coming out. He's a new unsi too. He's an unsi. Now they're going to grab his ass. They're going to mistake him for a fat black Mexican and grab his ass up. Often linked to Israel's suffering during the future tribulation. So we're suffering. They're not going after small hats. They're not going after small hats. Let me tell you a story about the small hats in the New York area. They're big in the New York area. And Muncie, which is upstate, and Brooklyn, Eastern Parkway, Harris, which is maybe about an hour and a half or so from New York City. If you go to Harris, New York, you got actual buildings, 10-story, 20-story, 10-story, 12-story buildings with Hebrew written on over it, man. Same thing with Muncie. You know? They ain't going after them. They ain't busting down their doors, man. But they're the people. So shouldn't the people at this time, if you're an Israelite, shouldn't you be in distress? Daniel's 70th week, which has nothing to do with this event. The 70th week, Daniel 9:27, 1 week. Tribulation, 3.5 years. They don't understand this. Connection to Jacob's trouble, the entire 7 years, and there ain't no 7-year tribulation. These scholars, they taught it that way, and that's the standard. That's what it means, because Pastor so-and-so said it, and it's in scholarly books. It's seen as Jacob's trouble, a time of great distress, Israel, the climax, the Lord's teaching, or Jesus' teaching, the Olivet discourse, that scholars call it the Olivet discourse, which is Matthew 24. So if any Christian said, what about the Olivet discourse? You know, it's talking about Matthew 24. Because he said a time of trouble. What do you think the Lord was talking about when he said a time of trouble? Talking about Jacob's trouble. Connection to Jacob's trouble, the great tribulation. Right, hey, Zechariah 14, 1 and 2. Luke 21, 20 to 24. Revelation chapters, chapter 6 to chapter 9. Oh, fall of Babylon. And not one. Let me ask him what is meant by the fall of Babylon. Give me a second. What is meant by the fall of Babylon? And the return of Christ. Let's see what they say. Then I'm going to get ready to close. Excellent question. Let's unpack both. What is the fall of Babylon? The fall of Babylon in end time prophecy is a major event describing in Revelation chapter 17 and 18, and it represents the judgment and destruction of a powerful end time system. A powerful name some powerful and name some world powers. There's really three of them. Russia, China, and the U.S. Or the U.S., Russia, and China. Remember, there was two powers. The USSR during that time period prior to the 90s. Those are the two powers. China became a third power. But we know that the power that it's talking about is the U.S. Babylon. There are two Babylons in Revelation. Mystery Babylon, Revelation 17 describes as a woman riding on a beast. The beast represents NATO and the EU, symbolize a powerful false religious system that is intertwined with political power, called the mother of harlots. That's Babylon, and is responsible for spiritual corruption and persecution of God's people, which are the Israelites. And isn't that what Nero 47 is doing? Who is he persecuting? He's not persecuting the small hats. He's not persecuting the patriots. He's not persecuting the KKK. He's not persecuting the Proud Boys, which the leader is a Manassite. He's one of us. They got no problem with Arabs. There's millions of Arabs in this country. So you mean to tell me that one time there were cells and they all fell off? No. The only people that Nero 47 is going after are the Israelites. This proves that we're the people, man. He's going after the Israelites. And his handlers told him to go after the Israelites because he don't know that they're Israelites. They know, the elite. His handlers know that they're the Israelites. So they're trying to upset. This is a spiritual warfare, man. They're using physical weapons to fight a spiritual war. That's a topic right there. Physical weapons to fight a spiritual war. of physical warfare against a spiritual warfare wins every time. Because when Yahushua and the angel them come back, they come in on a physical level and a spiritual level. They showed you a couple of weeks ago, there was a hit with a missile. I forget the classification of the missile. That hit this one UFO, and it split up into like 4 parts, and the parts that were broken up kind of stayed in orbit of the main part, and then it just came back together. How can you fuck with something like that? Huh? You punch a guy's head clean off, and he summons his head back, and it comes back on his body, you better fucking run. They coming like the juggernauts, bitches. What does a juggernaut do? Whatever power you have, it takes your power. It becomes more powerful from taking your power, taking your essence, and becoming more powerful to fuck you up. A spiritual warfare, a spiritual weapon will beat a physical weapon anytime. I'm gonna say it again. That ship that they got, that UAP, they hit it with a, oh, it got it. And you know what happened? The angel said, the Lord said, let them hit you to show what we can do. Let them hit you. Because they wasn't going to get hit if they didn't want it to get hit. It got hit, broken up into 4 pieces. The pieces followed suit with the main, biggest part of the piece and formed back together. You cannot fuck with, that's some shit that you don't want to fuck with, man. You kill somebody, you chop their motherfucking head off, chop them up into pieces. Like the story of this guy, the Black Jesus out of Africa. The CIA chopped him up and burnt him and all that. Then he just came back. And he said, I'm coming back with people with me. And we're going to fuck this place up. I don't fuck with the spirits, bro. Even Alex Jones said that yesterday. If somebody's talking about he's trying to summon the demons to prove that Christ exists. And so Alex Jones said, I wouldn't do that if I was you. I said, then he hung up on the guy. He said, this guy's a weirdo. He hung up on the guy, and he said, I'm gonna tell you people something, but I don't be messing with them spirits. And which made me say that was Alex Jones got to be a Jake, cause Jake is scared of them spirits, man. And don't mess with the spirits, cause you can't see them. You know, a spirit can jump in your girl, man. And someone to slit your throat. So you're going to win. So when the angels come back, when the angels them come back, they're coming back on the physical level and on the spiritual level. So they can go into the physical realm and into the spiritual realm. Babylon the Great. Commercial, economic Babylon. Represents a global economic and political empire centered on luxury, trade. What was the terrorists all about? It was about trade and materialism. Merchants, kings, leaders, and nations mourn when it is suddenly destroyed. Why? Because they're not gonna make no money no more. Because you know what America has been trained to do? To be consumers. Buy. Possibly by war or divine spiritual judgment, divine judgment, Revelation 18:8-10. This destruction signals the final collapse of the world system. Who runs the world system? Well, when you do trade, when you trade money, oil for something else, if you got a ruble, you have to take the ruble. You have to what's the word? You have to transfer it from the ruble into the Federal Reserve note in order to buy oil from Iraq, whatever money system they use. All these nations got to use what's called what the hell is this called? world reserve currency. If you look up world reserve currency, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna look it up. We don't gotta deal with this no more. Let me see here. Let me go to the world reserve currency. World reserve currency. The dollar. However, the dollar is not expected to lose its position as the world's top reserve currency anytime soon, given the United States' dominance in the global economy. When we just reading that in the chat? Trade and debt markets, recent shifts have been too small to make a significant dent in the dollar's overall position. So in two words, the dollar. What is the world reserve currency? The dollar. Who is the world reserve currency was under who? Under Great Britain. So if you can't see that this is Babylon spoken of in Revelation 17 and in Revelation 18 and in other parts of the scriptures, that great city, you know, you're not one of the elect. Most I haven't opened up your eyes. Anyway, I went a little long. Please forgive me. Shalom. On to the next.